again, using it from our perspective, like you're saying that because I'm an employer, I get to call the shots about who I want to have working, and make the rules about that. But now you're in a gray area, because I could also say, if that is indeed true, I don't want anyone from Grenada working for me. And the only reason I choose that is because that's where Mel is from.
Yeah.
And like that is maybe I just had a bad experience with it, and I made that rule. This is my company. Yeah. I started the company with Mike. We both agree that we don't want people from Grenada working in the company.
Yeah.
But so what is the difference between what's the difference between those two things?
So let me clarify. So
yeah.
Preventing someone from working at a business based on where they're from would be a violation of the human rights.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for.
That's a direct violation. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Now, arguably, if someone has a deeply held religious belief on vaccinations, that's something that they can claim under human rights. And again, Shell, I don't write the legislation. The legislation's there.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't make it. So there's the religious exemption for vaccinations, and that's where businesses are going to have to be creative and try to accommodate. But I think that's different from not employing someone from a certain country. There's a distinction there.
I know, and I was being facetious about it because there was there's obviously that is absolutely not allowed to happen. But I guess my point is that we're still in a place where we don't know where this is going to fall. You've got let's use your own example, as far as someone's got deeply held religious beliefs about vaccine. You're dealing with Jehovah's Witnesses, who definitely have deeply held beliefs about vaccines. And if I'm at the cusp of hiring someone who, because of his deeply held religious beliefs about not getting vaccines, has exposed my staff and my clients to health and safety risks, am I at liberty to say, I can't hire you because you will not get vaccinated? Is that something that I can do?
Well, this is like a final Jeopardy question.
I'm putting it out there because it's going to become something that you deal with.
Yeah.
Because it's already out.
So what I can tell you, what I can tell the listeners is, as of now, there's a fairly significant difference between making vaccination status a condition of hire versus once the person's already working there. So there's a little bit of a different threshold from a legal perspective. So if you've hired the person and they're working there and they choose to be unvaccinated, I think you have a little bit more liberties to take as an employer than you do about interviewing someone, offering them the job, and then them saying, as they're signing their employment agreement, by the way, I'm not vaccinated, and you rescinding the offer. I think that would be much more challenging for employers than if the person's already working there and you're having to accommodate them once they've started. I don't know if that makes logical sense to you, but I think the threshold is a little different.
I think, well, this is where you're going to start to get, and the reason I was pushing on this is because we're starting to see this kind of separation in society right now. Right. You're starting to see vaccinated versus unvaccinated. Yeah. You're starting to see the standards change. And I think it's become extraordinarily valid as we've been moving forward in this. So you hit it on the head. Like it's still a moving target. Let's be honest.